Hey, this is Ben Solomon and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, we'll continue on from what we did in the previous episode on how to write an effective cover letter for a tech or engineering manager job application. So like previous videos I've done around cover letters and application for a job, most of that was focused in content around junior roles and technology roles, and this one is going to be focused more around applying for a management role, whether that's technology manager, team leader, engineering manager, CIO, CTO, whatever it might be. And the thing I always try to make sure is understood is that the principles behind this are going to be the same, but the application you modify for the kind of role that you're applying for and make it more suitable for your current situation. So the principles behind any application is to ensure that you're positioning everything as a benefit to the company or the team that you're applying to be a part of. So as we saw in the video about how to prepare a resume and all that, let's say we pick a job and you're applying for a technology manager, engineering manager role. You're going to be looking at what your strengths are, what your experiences have been so far, and how you can add value in that particular role. So you want to be truthful, put your best foot forward, because you do not want to get into a role where you're not suited for the role. And what I mean by that is, like, you can be a technology manager, for example, and you can work in organization A. That's a government bureaucratic organization that change is very slow. And if you're a person whose personality is suited to, slow change, being able to have more detailed, more process-based work, like getting through these stages to get things done, you're better suited there. If we put you in the same role, exact same pay, exact same responsibilities, so to speak, but in an organization that's a startup, you're going to get burnt out. Because in startup, you've got to be agile, you've got to be nimble, you've got to be you've got to be ready to change at a moment's notice with new things that come in, and you don't get the time and the opportunity to sit back and really delve in and go, am I going to be able to do it this way? So you don't have all these governance in there to slow things down and move gradually. Whereas someone like myself, if I'm put in a slow bureaucratic organization, I'll burn out, because for me, I've got to be moving fast. And yes, I do test. I have, in every organization that I've worked at, I've had some form of test environment where we test and do all those sort of things, but we do it quick, we validate, and we get it out into production. That has meant we could stay at the front end of technology deployment and using the latest and greatest tools for job to be done. With it, it does bring in some complications. There are times, no matter how much you test, there are going to be issues, there are going to be bugs that go into production, and then you've got to work on fixing it. And then, there is that liaising between you and Microsoft or other partners to make sure that the issue is resolved, and troubleshooting involved and time involved and everything else. So neither of them are good or bad. But the thing is, the wrong person in the wrong position or wrong environment can be detrimental to the person as well as to the organization and the team in the organization. So you've got to figure that out, and that's where I keep saying figure out what your strengths are, what your natural inclinations are, and then look for roles that support it, look for sizes of companies that support it, look for industries in which you're supported for your natural inclinations, and so that you can actually do your best work, create the best possible value, and also be someone who's impactful with your teams. So yeah, looking at those sort of things, you look at the job, you'll get a feel for how an organization works based on how they present themselves, how their systems look, how their websites look. There's some things that you will point out if they are trying to be at the leading edge or if they're a bureaucratic, slow organization. And one of the things that I keep saying is, if you're interested in a specific role in a specific organization, pick up the phone and call the person that you'll be reporting to. If you can speak to them, you will get a feel for what's going on in the organization and if it's the kind of organization that you want to work for. For example, a little while ago, I looked at applying for a role in a government body. It was a council. You would have thought, like, normally I wouldn't have wanted to be in that sort of environment because it could potentially be slow, bureaucratic. But the good thing about this specific organization was they've already started moving towards agile, DevOps, that style of movement and management, and I wanted to be part of it. So that made me go, yeah, I would like to be a part of that. And then I spoke to the CIO, fantastic person, fantastic work that they're doing. And, you know, then I looked at it and went, yeah, I'll probably apply for this role. After speaking to the person, I was like, yep, he is changing the culture of the place from what used to be a slow bureaucratic organization to a more agile and smart organization that is keeping on the front lines of technology growth as well as the benefit and value that it can provide to their customers. So, you know, like, that's how you differentiate and make it known, like, to match your personality. You look at a role and apply for. So when you're writing a cover letter, from the top, you look like, you know, you've spoken to the person, you're addressing the person saying, dear so-and-so, Mr., Miss, Mrs., whatever it might be, and then say, based on reading the job description, you're looking for this kind of a person. And I believe that I would be the right fit. But that this kind of person is something that has to describe you. If it's not, don't even apply for that role. Or you put your strengths there, saying innovative, you know, people leader, or whatever it might be, as the thing there. You're looking for that, and I believe that I'll be the right fit for this role. And then address the things that they've asked for using situations where you've actually utilized those characteristics, how you've what you've done in those situations, how you managed to work through the situation, and what the result was. So for example, let's say one of the things that they've asked is demonstrated ability to lead and motivate a small high-performing technology team. And let's say you've been a technology manager in a small organization, and this role that you're applying for is a Chief Information Officer role. So what you would do in that situation is talk about your previous or current role where you're a technology manager, how you were able to lead them, keep the people in your team engaged, and help them perform really well while still being able to enjoy their work. So my methodology for that has been being a coach leader, which means I sat with my team members one-on-one, and when we had our group meetings, I knew each and every one of their strengths, weaknesses, their interests, their goals, and which meant based on their interests, based on their goals, based on their desire for growth, I would provide them with the required training, required support, and then give them the opportunity to be able to utilize that and grow in the organization and in the team. So I'll bring that in and say, in my current role, when I started, the situation was like this. I then brought in training, I brought in support, I put in these processes in place which allowed my staff to be able to grow, to be able to utilize the specialty and then do more of the work that they found engaging and fulfilling, and were able to pass on or delegate work that they personally didn't feel engaged and fulfill to others who actually found that more engaging, which meant everyone in the team knew to do other people's jobs, but were doing work normally on a day-to-day basis. 60 to 80% of their work would be work that they personally found engaging, interesting, passionate about, and really cared about. And so that'll be the thing, and result would be 40 or 50% improvement in performance and fulfillment, and let's say a drop in attrition. All of these things are positives that you can bring across and show there. So that's the thing, situation, what tasks you were meant to do, and action taken, and what the result was all these things. So that would be one little story that I'll then compress. Like initially when I write it'll be a bit long, then I compress it to take out any extraneous details and make it into a 2 or 3 line story that depicts the kind of what I've achieved and what I would bring in as value into this role that I'm applying for. So that'll be, like initial thing would be saying, these are my characteristics, and I believe that you're looking for these, and I would be the right candidate for it. Then achievements and accomplishments to support the fact that you are that kind of a person and you have those characteristics and you would bring that value to the organization. And then towards the end, you just go, look, thank you for taking time to read through this application or cover letter, and I look forward to hearing from you about the next steps. So you're pretty much giving them a call to action saying, I want to hear from you, but also thanking them for taking time out of their day to do the reading. And some people might think, they're putting the job out, it's their job, why should I thank them? Thank them, because the thing is, when you're on the other side of the recruiting table, you see lots of applications come through, and it takes time, it takes effort to go through all of that to figure out who would be the best fit for the organization, because there are times when you get so many applications that's just templates dumped at you, and it's not an easy task being on the other side doing the work that you've got to do to filter through all that to find the right person to interview. Because the thing is, when we are on the other side of the table, we don't want to waste your time either. We don't want to invite you just for the sake of inviting you for an interview. I personally look at it as waste of your time, waste of your resources, as well as my time, my team's time, and all of our resources. Collectively, we're wasting our time if you're not the right fit for the role, which is where the cover letter is where you put your best foot forward, showing that you are the right fit for the role if you are the right fit for the role. So that's your pretty much in the marketing and business world known as sales letter. You're selling yourself in using your words, showing your accomplishments as something that would add value to this new role that you're applying for. So hopefully that helps you out in getting an idea of the principles to use to focus on and show value when you're applying for your next technology manager, engineering manager, chief executive, chief information officer, chief technology officer kind of roles, and test it out, see how it goes. Look at your current cover letter and try this out. If you've been trying to apply for a specific role for a period of time and haven't been able to get interviews, try this style of selling the benefit, selling the fact that you're bringing this experience or expertise and achievement that you've accomplished into this role to add value to their business, and see if you get that interview. For me, for years, I was just writing the bland old, I have done this, I have done that sort of thing. And then finally, as I was learning copywriting on the side, I learned to focus on the other side, on them. And so that I changed the format of my letters, and that started getting me interviews that I really wanted to attend, and then got the jobs that I wanted to get as well. So anyways, that's the principles behind writing good cover letters that are attractive and have and increase the likelihood of you getting an interview. And then in the interview, if you still use the same principles of focusing on them more than on you and what you get, obviously you have to ask the questions of what you'd get in such a manner that it looks like you're putting it from their perspective, how they're going to benefit from having you. And that's a strategy that you've got to use. It's just mentally shifting from what am I going to get to how does that add value to you. But when they answer that question, you also get the answer that you're looking for your own thing of, yep, I need to have this, this, and this before I accept this role. Cool. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. I look forward to talking to you in a future episode. Take care and have a fantastic day.